Good evening, and it is 5:01 p.m., and this is the board meeting, special board meeting for the Valley Center-Pauma Unified School District School Board. Welcome, and we have a quorum present, and will you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Paul Benneman.
Your right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do we have any requests to address the board? Okay.
At this time, we do not.
Being none, we will move forward into the reason we are here. Superintendent's Division. Interview, can you hear us? Is that okay? Interview candidates, appointment to fill our board vacancy. And the introduction, we now come to our item A on the agenda, interviews and selection of the candidate to fill governing board vacancy in trustee area 5. The governing board has decided to make a provisional appointment to fill the vacancy of the remaining term in the trustee 5 area created by the resignation of a governing board member. By law, this is an open process. We have received and reviewed each applicant's application materials. Tonight, the board will interview each applicant. All applicants will be asked the same questions to ensure that it is an equitable process, interviewing process. As a matter of fairness, the applicants are strongly encouraged to remain outside the meeting room while the other applicant is being interviewed. Before starting each interview, the applicant will be given up to 5 minutes to present to the board any information he or she believes best explains why he or she is interested in being a board member and what experiences has prepared him or her for this position. Order of interviews. So this is the names of each applicant have been placed on slips and put in a container, correct? Okay. And we will have our we're going to have Nancy draw that out to see who will be first. Keisha, you will be first, and then we will to be interviewed, and Carolyn, you will be second. Thank you. And we will ask Nancy, yes, to issue or escort Keisha. There you go. She has great. And Nancy will lead you to your waiting area. Thank you. Okay, we will move forward. And Keisha Worthy, thank you for being here. And you are the first to be interviewed. We invite you to, you're up front, and Nancy's escorting Carolyn Pateman to the waiting area. So your name was randomly selected to go first tonight, so please feel free to take up to 5 minutes for introductory comments. Share with the board any information that you believe best explains your interest in serving as school board member for Valley Center-Pauma Unified School District, and what experiences you have had and prepare you for the role that you wish to serve in. Also, highlight the contribution that you could make, what you could make to serve as a school board member and enrich our board. And now the time is yours. It is 5 minutes. The 5-minute clock is there. So thank you.
Hi, sorry about that. Again, I'm Keisha Worthy. I'm a new resident to the Valley Center. I currently live in Park Circle with my husband. We moved there about 2 years ago when things were just getting built. We love being part of this community, and when I learned of the opening of the board, I thought that it sounded like a very exciting opportunity. It sounded like an opportunity to have a really positive impact on the community. I really care about kids. I care about education, and I care about the community that we live in. And I thought this was an opportunity for me to use my time, my talents to invest in having a positive impact on how kids are, how they are within the community, how they will be prepared to be adults within the community. And I think that education is an important part of doing that. I was part of the public education system for most of my life. My high school, I think, prepared me really well to go to college. That was the avenue I decided to take. I have an undergraduate degree from UCLA and a graduate degree from Loyola. I'm a writer. I have taught writing at the college level. Love to read and write, and that's how I learn. But working with students at college, I learned that how many people learn different ways and how to be able to communicate to them in different ways. I currently work for a Big Four accounting firm, and to give you an idea of the size of it, it's a global company. We have about 260,000 professionals and partners across the globe. We have about 30,000 in the U.S. I work with some of the most elite partners in our firm. I work with those partners that serve some of our largest clients. Some household names you probably know. Some of our large pharmaceutical companies or large retailers, and I won't say any names because we have some kind of confidentiality sometimes with these, and I want to err on the side of caution. But so I work with them. What I do is I work in an area that serves around 200 or so of partners, and I work in a learning and development area, part of that. And so I work on communications and community building and things like that. So I've learned how to work with leaders well, how to collaborate with them, and how to bring in my guidance to them on how they can reach their goals and to support their goals. I also work as a mentor, or I do that as an aside. So I work one-on-one with people, and I also facilitate or co-facilitate a mentoring circle. And so in there, we help people with their performance development, how to navigate through the firm, because it's a big firm, it's a complex organization, so helping them understand different performance needs. And then I help some of the newer employees in my area. I help them how to navigate the firm too, how to be successful. What does success look like? How can you be successful here? And I started that relationship with them by asking them permission. Can I do this? Can I help you? So that there was building that trust there. And also the idea of will you find value in this? And I think that those are some of the qualities that I'll bring to the firm. I think that I've learned leadership by helping other people learn how to be successful and supporting the success of other people, supporting the success of the partners that I work with, supporting the success of the people that I mentor, and supporting the success of some of the other junior members on my staff. And then, so I would say that being collaborative, helping to provide guidance and direction, and those are the qualities that I'll bring. Leading by serving, leading by serving, being collaborative, building positive relationships with people, and my strong communication skills. I guess I have about 44 seconds, but Yeah. I think that's really what I think I bring, is that ability to lead by serving, by being someone who wants to support the success of others. And I'd really like to be able to support the success and the growth of the school district with my time and my talents. So thank you.
Thank you very much. And we will move forward. Let me find my position back here.
Do you want me to ask my question, or do you have?
Yes. Right here. Okay, there we go. Kind of lost all this where it is here. Okay. Thank you for your introduction, and the board will now ask you several questions. You will be allowed up to 3 minutes per question for your answer on this. And you're going to move right here to Paul.
All right, here we go. So what do you see as the basic purpose of public schools? And then what is the role of the governing board in fulfilling that purpose?
Yeah, I think that it is the purpose of the public schools to provide free education to children, be a safe place for children to come, to learn, to grow, to be, to take care of and cultivate the entire student, right? Them emotionally, physically, mentally, emotionally, taking care of all of those parts of them. I think it is incumbent for the public schools to provide opportunities for kids to have academic success, so that they can either take a road to college, or they can take a road to a career that they'd like to go to, but that they can be productive citizens and contribute to the community.
Cool. Thank you.
Okay, and Alfonso.
Hi.
Hi.
Okay, there's a two-part question here. What do you see as the primary role of a trustee, and how would you fulfill that role, both individually and as a member of the governing body?
Yeah, so I think that the primary role of the trustee is to help support the purpose of the public schools, right? So helping to make sure that the students that attend these public schools have the academic resources that they need to be successful, to have that kind of academic excellence. I think that the board members are also to find ways to support those administrators and teachers and parents, and make sure that they are engaged and able to support the students. I think that my role in all of that, I would look to hopefully, if I were to join the board, to make it better than it was when I started, to learn from you, the other board members. I'm a learner, so I'm hoping to be able to learn and collaborate, come in with an open mind, come in being able to provide my perspective, but also to listen to other people's perspectives. I think that opens us all up to making greater opportunities when we can come together and bring those different perspectives to, with the goal of helping kids be excellent and as to fulfill their potential as best they can.
Thank you.
And same for me. I'm going to have a two-part question
Okay.
for you. What would you like to accomplish as a board member? Which of those accomplishments are your highest priority, and why?
Okay. So I think going back to the previous question, what I find most important would be to support the district and the school district in being able to make sure that they maintain and or obtain those academic resources that will help kids do what they need to do to have that academic excellence. I have an opportunity to work with kids sometimes, and I see that they are very innovative, smart, they just impress me all the time. And I'd like to have some kind of impact to make sure that those kind of things, academic excellence, innovation, creativity, are cultivated and encouraged. And there was a second part to that question. And I think that's my highest priority, is to making sure that we maintain those basic things. I think that was the crux of my education, making sure what my goals were met through the school system, and I'd like to be a part of doing that.
Next one, what is your understanding of the current board goals and directions?
I think that my understanding is that, well, I'm looking at the next question too. So I think that, can I marry those a little bit?
Yeah, please, go for it.
So
sorry, Alfonso.
I think that I understand that there's some challenges with the testing and attendance. And I think those are some of the goals that are really important to this board, to make sure that students come to school, want to come to school, that they are able to not just pass scores and get high test scores, but have those abilities that make you able to have good test scores, right? Not just to be able to answer the right answer, but how did you get to coming to that answer? And I think that this board, is my understanding that those are two things that are really on this board's mind. I think the other thing that is potentially on the board's mind is funding, right? I think that's probably something that's always on most boards' minds. But just making sure that the board is fiscally responsible, that the school district is fiscally responsible with the money, to make sure that they are, I think people do this because they care about kids, right? Yeah. And the fiscal responsibility helps ensure that kids have what they need to have, right? And that you're able to do those kind of things. So that's what that's my understanding.
Cool. Thank you.
She skipped the question, I forgot.
Sorry.
Why are you interested in becoming a member of the Board of Trustees? I think you've outlined some of that, but if you want to be a little more laser specific on it.
Sure. Yeah, like I said, I when I first heard of this, I thought, oh, that really sounds like something to do. I was looking for an opportunity to do something in the community. And I thought, what a better way to do something in the community than something that, it sounds kind of corny to say that the children are the future. But they really are. Really, it's something people say because it's truthful, right? And I would really like to be a part of shaping the future. And being a part of the board would be my opportunity to do that. And it feels like one of those things that you guys probably experience, is where you give and you get so much back in return. You're not looking to get something back in return, but when you give in a way that serves other people, it comes back to you, and then you have more to give, and it fills you up. And I just want to be someone who has that positive impact on what happens with kids, because I think there's a lot of ways for them not to have the right direction, right? And schools are a way to help them have that kind of right direction. It's an opportunity to have an influence on the trajectory of where kids are going. Sure.
And this concludes the interview process. I do have one question.
Sure.
Are you willing to run in November?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I am.
Okay, that's what we want to make sure. There's a moving
Good thing-
forward
I
here.
think that one was the right answer.
Yes,
If I didn't
yes.
have the right answer for any of the
Bingo.
rest of them.
Is there anything else you would like to add that we didn't cover that you would like to communicate about your passion, desire?
I don't know. I want to say thank you. I think this has just been, it's been an awesome opportunity for me to think about things and just to see what happens in these kind of instances. And I'm just excited at the possibility and what can happen and what kind of influence I can have and what kind of influence that you all have in students' lives. And it's just been fun and exciting to think about the possibility.
Excellent. Thank you so much
Thank
for your
you.
information, your
All right.
time, and we know this has been, it's challenging to
Yeah,
do
it
this,
is.
but we will now let Nancy take you back
Okay,
to the
perfect.
little comfy room back there, and so you could follow her. Thank you so much, Keisha.
I could hear a lot of laughter, so that's a good sign.
Laughter here.
Yes.
That's good. All right. Give me a minute here, so get my glasses on. This is Achilles tendonitis, by the way, so long-term problem. Sorry.
Are you good?
Okay.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Thank you, Carolyn Pateman. Your name was randomly selected to be the second candidate tonight. Please feel free to take up to 5 minutes for your introductory comments. Share with the board any information that you believe best explains why you want to serve, and share with the board any information that best explains your interest in serving, and also experiences that have prepared you for this role. Also, please highlight the contribution you would be or would make to enhance our board. And the time is now yours.
Those are a lot of points there. Okay. Well, I've had a 25-year career as a nurse practitioner, and I reached a point this past year where I wasn't ready to retire. I wanted to kind of see what retirement was like and tried to get a unpaid leave of absence, but they said they needed me too badly, so they couldn't do that. And I said, well, I'm going to take off then. So I gave up my position, but I was able to stay on as a per diem, so that's really great because I get to still do the work I love, but I'm not in the regimented going to work every day. And so I've had more time on my hands, and that's been nice. And over the holidays, I got into some discussions about bullying with some kids that go to the schools, and I did a kind of deep dive into the district website because I was really curious to know, what's going on with that. And that was when I was looking at, I think, the December school board meeting and saw that Mary Polito was going to have to be resigning, which I was sad to see, and saw this position was coming up. So, I mean, it wasn't something I'd thought about doing, but after going through all the material that I saw on the net, I thought I had a really good understanding of what's going on with the schools, and so saw what the 8 schools each side had their website and could look and see what's going on. And I wanted to give you a choice. I think that's really important, that there be choices. I saw that at the last election, a couple of the board seats went unopposed. So I think it's really good to have choice. So that's one reason I'm here. I heard about Fallbrook not having an empty seat that they aren't able to fill. That doesn't reflect well on a school district, I don't think. Why I think I would be good. I really care about what goes on for kids. And I have this strong feeling that for a lot of kids, school is the only place where good things happen for them in their lives. Hopefully not too many in our district, but that's a fact. And I think that school boards make a big difference in what children get to experience in their schools. And I think you guys are doing a great job. I saw a really lot of shining spots that are things that are going on. I think I bring with my background and my education the importance of looking at evidence and research in the decisions that are made, and think I could bring some ideas. I'm not an educator, and we rely on the educators to come up with what the plans are, but I think we can add to things. How am I doing for my time? I spent many years going to Escondido High School board meetings back in the 90s. When I moved here in 1982, the real estate agent said, oh, there's going to be a high school out here. And I had a little baby at the time, and I thought, oh, great, that'll be perfect. It's not here yet, but it'll come. Well, when she was in 4th grade, there was nothing that looked like a high school was coming. So I got really involved and went to the board meetings, really, for 7 years. I was going down there trying to lobby them and convince them, and it took a long time for them to be ready, of course. But when the time came, I think I worked with Dr. Mulford very closely on that bond issue, and between the two of us, we really kind of had some leverage to get the amount of money we needed to build this school. So I understand about the importance of facilities, and I saw the plan that you are considering to pass a bond, and I'd be interested to be helping out with that. And I think I am a good listener. I've never been on a board before, but I am a trustee of a relative special needs trust, so I understand about managing and being responsible for finances of someone else. And you have a lot of money that you're responsible for, and ultimately it rests with the board. Everything that goes on is ultimately rests with you, and that's a lot of responsibility. But I'm interested to participate and help if I can.
And now we'll move to your first question, or second question, actually.
So what do you see as the basic purpose of public schools? And part 2 of that is, what is the role of the governing board in fulfilling that purpose?
The role of the schools is to educate the students, beginning in kindergarten, where they come and know very much, teach them to be able to read and write to begin with. And that's, to me, the literacy is one of the most important things that schools teach children. And along with school, I think as our society's changed, I saw in your websites that, and hear a lot of this SEL curriculum, and it's like, oh, I hadn't never heard of that when my kids were going to school. And I think that's important, that schools do play a role in teaching children values of how to get along with people, because we want to raise them and teach them the skills that they need, so when they grow up, they can go out and be able to support themselves and get along with other people and be, good citizens. So that's the purpose, of course, educating them. And the board's job, I understand, is probably the most important is that you hire the superintendent. You're not going to be managing the schools. It's the superintendent's job, who then, in turn, he hires the leaders of the schools. But it's your job to make sure that the school district is fulfilling the goals that you set. It's your job to set the policy, be responsible for the budget, and with the help of the experts, you have the responsibility of making sure there's enough money to maintain the buildings in good order, and responsible for making decisions of disciplinary measures. So that's what I would say.
Thank you. Alfonso.
Okay, two parts. What do you see as the primary role of the school trustee? And two, how will you fulfill that role, both individually and as a member of the governing board?
Well, I think I sort of already said what the board member's job is, but it's not as an individual, it's as a team. I really understand that, and that the superintendent is also part of the team, and that it's really important to maintain harmony and confidentiality in certain matters. And I would fulfill the role by being at the board meetings. I'm really interested in what's going on in education, so I think it's important to, you're not going to be an expert in education, but I'm interested in what makes good school boards, and I would be spending time, and I've already done that, of trying to find ways to be the best school board member I could be. I think it's important to have some presence at school functions, but not like you're going to be at every single one. But I had a great experience going to the high school Poetry Out Loud, and I think that's a good thing. And I know at your graduations you participate, and so.
Mine's a two-part question as well. What would you like to accomplish as a board member? Which of those accomplishments are the highest priority, and why?
I would think the highest priority is the academic success of the students. But also, I think safety is equally important. If kids don't feel safe in their school, it's hard for them to even want to come, You wonder how many kids don't show up to school because they're being bullied. And I know you've got a bullying curriculum, anti-bullying curriculum, which I would like to know more about. And I think your social and emotional SEL curriculum is additive to give kids the skills they need to protect themselves and others from that kind of activity. So the safety of the school, I think I would just want to see the school continue doing what they're doing with those kind of practices. And the academic achievement, you're not the only school district that's struggling with it, and nobody doesn't seem to have any good answers of how do we fix this, You feel like, hey, I want 100% of the students by the time they graduate, that they are reading at their grade level. And maybe that's unrealistic, 100%, but I think we could set goals that are long-term, but that we're striving to raise those reading skills. And one test isn't going to tell you everything, of course, Just because we're seeing only 37% are at reading level, that doesn't mean that they're total failures. They might just be right under. There's a lot of information that goes into evaluating where we're at. So those are the two things I would say are most important to me. And also, I think making parents feel like they're important and they're listened to and heard, that's a hard one too, to, people are so busy. It's hard to get them to be as more involved, but whatever we can do to expand on that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Next question, what is your understanding of current board goals and directions?
Well, I've read those what are the LCAPs, so I know there's a lot of strategies in place that are focused on reading, which is really important. And so I would say, like, we want to continue doing that, but that's a challenge. The school facilities, I haven't seen the report in detail, but I listened to the presentation, and it has been 25 years, since there's a board. I saw on the news today there's going to be several school board bonds on the ballot in California in March, so it's going to be interesting to see how those pass and what the threshold was where people are willing to pay more taxes. And it's a hard time with inflation. People don't want to pay more. And especially, I would say, out here in Valley Center, with a lot of people being hit up hard on their fire insurance. That's a household expense that it's hard for a lot of people. So that's what I would say.
Okay, you may have already answered this question.
I think I have.
I think you have, and I'm going to leave it at that.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Why are you interested in becoming a member of a board of trustees? And I know you've touched on that this entire interview, but maybe if you just want to leave us with that laser-focused answer on what is your driving, I think that's what we're looking for in this question. I
think, the underlying response would be that my nature is I like to help, and I want to be of help in whatever way I can. So, now that I'm more than semi-retired, but I have some time that I would like to devote to the community. I've kind of been focused on my career. When my kids were growing up, I was very involved, and now I do have grandchildren, like I said in my application, that are in the school, but they're just equally as important as everybody else as far as the school goes. So that's why.
Good.
And then, one question that it's not on there, but we need to ask this. Will you be willing to run in November to move forward?
I thought you'd probably want to know about that. And, when I first saw the opening, it was really like, oh, there's a need, and that's till November. And it's not something I've run for school board before, a long time ago. And it's not to say that if I get selected, I would win if I ran. Yeah. So I
just if you'd be willing. If you're willing to, yeah.
I would consider it. Okay. I know it's an investment in having a board member come on, and I would think you'd really like to hear me say, yes, I would do that. And I don't know that I could make that commitment at this point, but I definitely, would consider it. It would depend on what was going on and which other people might be running. Because I know a good board, you sort of think, oh, these people are on the school board for so long, but that's a good strength of a board to have some longevity. You don't want a lot of turnover.
Okay, thank you. And then this concludes the interview. Is there anything else that you would like to add that we didn't cover that you'd like to communicate?
I'd just like to say I'm glad to be here, and thank you. And I appreciate the presentation you did with your board, your what do you call them? Your cabinet.
Cabinet.
Yeah, it was a really good overview of what's going on and the job of being a trustee. So.
Well, thank you so much and for your time. And we're going to ask Nancy now if you would bring out the first applicant as well, and for the public comments session. Thank you, and just have a seat to get comfortable. Wait, where's the break? Where's the Thank you, and we'll move on. Is there any public comment? No?
I do not see any public comment for
No
tonight.
public comment, okay. So being none, we will now take a 10-minute break so the board members can review their notes individually and consider which applicant they support to be appointed to the trustee area 5. So a 10-minute break right now and get some water, fresh air, whatever you else may need. No, we need 10 minutes to kind of go over before our selection. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll have to make a motion.
Okay, we're going to move forward now. We have completed the board applicant interviews. Thank you. And before moving forward, I would first off like to really, our board would like to thank you for your time, your willingness to want to serve, and just really heartfelt from us. It takes a lot. It's not easy, and we appreciate you going through this process. And you are both two excellent qualified candidates. So this decision is challenging, who I know could fill the position. However, we can only select one. So we are moving forward with that selection phase now. So at this time, we will consider a provisional appointment for one of the applicants by motion and second. If a nominee, so I need to read this part here, if a nominee's name is put forward and seconded, the board will discuss the appointment and then vote whether to appoint the nominee. According to law, the appointment must be made by a public vote of the board members. Each trustee is a matter of public record, so no secret ballots are allowed. But it should be understood that it would be in order if a different board member would want to make a motion to amend to substitute the name of a different nominee in place of the original nominee. Of course, the first vote would be whether to amend the original motion. If that motion is were approved, then discussion would resume on the new nominee. I hope that this makes sense. I know. We had to read that. And that, so I had to read it. And
You guys understand.
yeah, I get, yeah. I think Ron put that, we hope this makes sense. Okay, all right. So when discussion is complete, there will be a vote on the motion. Every vote will be taken by roll call. If 3 ayes votes are cast for the nominee, that applicant will be the new board member. So we're going to move forward. Is there a motion for the provisional appointment of a nominee to fulfill the existing board vacancy?
Like Julie said, I think both of you ladies are very qualified for this, but I would make a motion for Keisha Worthy.
Okay, so motion's been made. Is there a second?
I'll second, but I also want to add in thank you both for the time and letting us know. So, but I second the motion.
Okay, and now for discussion. Is there any discussion to move forward? Okay, being none, the motion has been made to appoint Keisha Worthy to fill the existing board vacancy. And we will move forward into the roll call vote. Member Benneman?
Aye.
Member Caputo?
Aye.
Member Kolb Sr.?
Aye.
And Member Stroh votes aye. So, congratulations, and thank you, Carolyn. And I'm sure that I speak, it's kind of emotional here, I'm sure that I'm the emotional girl on this board. He gets emotional though, too. But I know that I speak for the entire board in saying that we congratulate you, but Carolyn, thank you for being here and all the time and heart that you put into this for our students. And we just really appreciate all that you have done and prepared yourself for, and thank you. We look forward to moving forward and welcome you. And again, I think our board will be enhanced by serving as on our Valley Center-Pauma Unified School District. And Carolyn, we look forward to whatever heart you want to. You have lots of passion, it sounds like, out there, and we need support, so we love that. So thank you. And we will move forward into the oath of office with.
So at this point, we'll swear in the new board member, and at the end of that will be a full complement of 5 board members. So Keisha, I'll meet you over by that microphone if that's okay. Okay, please raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, Keisha Worthy,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
and I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservations or purpose of evasion,
without any reservations or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
discharge the duties upon which I'm about to enter.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Have a seat.
We'll rearrange it so you're not next to Mike.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Okay, with that, let's move forward. Congratulations. And do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
And a second?
I'll second.
And with that, is there any discussion? Do you have any discussion? No, I wouldn't have to do that. Moving forward, we will go for the vote. Member Beneman?
Aye.
Member Caputo?
Aye.
Member Kolb Sr.?
Aye.
Member Worthy?
Aye.
And Member Stroh votes aye. We are adjourned. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming and supporting. We appreciate it.
Yes, thank you all. Keep doing your good work.